Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from forexnoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 7th of May, 2019, and time is 10:01 here in the UK. Today's analysis, we're going to be looking at price action setups across all these pairs here. I'm going to be discussing some setups that were open last week or earlier this week, and yeah, just the usual that we do in the analysis. So, how is everyone doing? While we look at that, I'm just going to quickly check the calendar. Also, obviously going to take a look at news. Here it is. Put in, no, we're going to leave that filter in. So yesterday was a bank holiday here in the UK. And also in Japan. Japan's been on bank holiday for like 10 days now or something like that. The 6th was the last day of their bank holiday. It was a golden week in Japan. So that was the last day of their bank holiday. They're back to trading now. And yeah, we had a bank holiday yesterday. So UK traders are back to trading today. What else is coming up today? Nothing much at all. Nothing actually. All this stuff is already done. This was AUD and New Zealand stuff. Next thing up is the official cash rate from New Zealand, monetary policy statement from New Zealand. You know, all that New Zealand stuff, along with the press conference. And tomorrow we have a French bank holiday, which generally speaking is not going to have too big of an impact. So let's not worry too much about that. So yeah, news, everything seems pretty clear, unless you're trading New Zealand. If you're trading New Zealand, then obviously these are things that you want to worry about. But other than that, it all seems pretty free and clear tomorrow and for the rest of today. So let's get into the actual analysis then. First of all, USDCHF. I'm still short on USDCHF. This has been a bit of an annoying trade. With its ups and downs. It's currently back on an up. It could be turning around and going down. Who knows? It's pretty much not doing what I want it to do. I was hoping for it to go down a bit faster than this. I'm still going to hold on to it. Problem is, there's a negative swap on this trade. So holding it is costing. But I think ultimately it will make its way down to target. So I'm just going to hold on to this one. I jumped in short on USDNOK yesterday. I was looking at this trade. I know USDNOK's a weird pair, but a mentoring student asked me about this one on Friday afternoon. And I checked it out on Friday afternoon. It was just before this big drop, right? So it hadn't done this big drop yet because it started this drop from about 2 o'clock. So I was looking at it as a potential trade. I decided I'm going to wait until Monday. And then by the end of Friday, it had shot down almost to the target I would have had. But then, thanks to Trump, I guess, even though this crazy gap has been extremely annoying for traders, thanks to Trump, we got a big gap up. So this kind of reset, and I got to enter in short again. Well, not again, but I got another chance to enter in short when I missed the first chance. So I'm in short on here based on essentially the 12-hour. GBJPY, this is probably the most annoying one. I wasn't long on this one personally, but I know a lot of you were. It was going really well at the end of the day on Friday. I think some of you have hit your targets with this one, but to those of you who decided to hold it over the weekend in hopes of price pushing up higher, obviously you've unfortunately had it retraced back almost to your entry, thanks to that annoying tweet by Trump. Trump's tweet caused one of the biggest gaps we've seen in several years in the forex market across a whole lot of pairs. So yeah, for those of you who didn't close out on Friday, this is what can happen from holding over weekends. Now, obviously, this doesn't happen every weekend. It's very, very rare. But this is why a lot of people don't like holding over weekends. I do hold over weekends from time to time. It just depends on the trade itself. But yeah, I mean, if you're in this one, it's hard to say what to do at this point. Is anyone still in this one, or did you guys all close it out? Because it did get pretty high. It got to most people's targets. I'm just wondering if anyone's still in it. If it's even worth discussing what to do next. I mean, even if no one's here is in it, there might be people who are not in the actual live webinar right now that are in the trade. You got out, Jason. Nice. Look, if you're in it, my temptation is to say hold it, but this one got so close to target that, you know, you probably, yeah, you're probably best off not holding it. I mean, it is going down now. Just set a break-even stop and leave it open if you want to. What's the swap like on this one? Right, you're not losing much on swap. It depends on your broker, but you shouldn't be losing too much on swap. Should be very minimal. So it's not that bad to keep it open. It's not like you're paying anything. Just set your stop loss to break even and let it run. It's unfortunate, but hey, what can you do? Hopefully we get, or not we, because I'm not American, but hopefully Americans vote for a president in this next election who doesn't discuss foreign policy on Twitter. I'm not, I don't want to have people angrily sharing their views on via YouTube comments and stuff like that. I'm not going to weigh in on the is Trump good or bad. I'm just saying it'd be great for traders if we didn't have some dude who could cause the biggest gaps we've seen in years mouthing off on Twitter, because it kind of makes for tricky trading sometimes, doesn't it? It's not been as bad. I mean, how long are we into this presidency now? Over 2 years. When he first became president, everything he said on Twitter would cause some crazy moves on the market. Now it's mostly died down, and like he has to say something pretty extreme to cause a big reaction in the market. And this time he did say something pretty extreme. But hey, what can you do, guys? It gapped. I know a lot of people got hurt with that gap, but I know a lot of people also made some money on that gap. So I guess it balances out in the end. Yeah, I used to check Trump's Twitter, but like I said, the impact of what he says has just dwindled down to almost nothing. except for that rare occasion like we had this weekend where he said something that causes a massive move. So I've kind of stopped paying attention to the Twitter. But you know, that was probably a mistake. But even if I hadn't, what could I have done on the weekend? And it didn't really affect me that badly. But what could I have done on the weekend? Nothing really. It's not like I could have. The markets weren't open, so I couldn't really have reacted, is what I'm saying. But anyway, guys, let's get into the analysis. We've looked at the setups that are open. I'm keeping USDCHF open. USDNOK, I'm going to keep this one open and just let it do its thing. GBJPY, if you're holding onto it, I would suggest move your stop loss to break even and just let it run. New Zealand USD price has dropped down to support again. There's potential for a long trade here, actually. I wouldn't say right away. Let's wait and see if price drops further into the support area. It's a bit high on the support area right now. And the first potential target would be around here where it bounced from last time. So ideally, we'd want it to fall further into that support area before considering a long trade. So I'm going to mark this as a potential, but do wait for price to drop into support. New Zealand JPY had a massive gap down. Massive. That was crazy. 75 pips. It doesn't sound massive when you say it, but for gaps, you know, that's huge. Yeah, I can't see another one that's even close to this size. So yeah, nothing much going on in New Zealand JPY, guys. Euro AUD. I don't think we're going to get that much trades today, guys. Things just need to recover from this gap. So I don't think we're going to see many setups. I mean, we got potential on New Zealand USD, but I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anything else. Maybe a Euro USD short, but I'm not going to do that. It's not a great setup. It's a bit of a mess. Nothing much on AUD USD, nothing much on AUD CAD. So when things like this happen, you need price to kind of stabilize and just return to normal. Which is why I'm apprehensive about, well, not apprehensive, sorry, that's completely the wrong word. Which is why I think we're not going to find setups today. GP New Zealand is pushing up to resistance, but it's not quite there yet. I guess this is also a resistance area. That is where it stalled. But it also stalled here. The resistance up here is just a complete mess. And that is a pretty old bounce. Nah, I'm not going to do anything there, guys. Feels like curve fitting, moving this resistance area down to here because it bounced from there and then saying, "Ooh, we have indecision on resistance." I mean, you could do that with a lot of different peaks. Just find a resistance area in the last, just find a point in the last 10 years where it kind of bounced from the same area and justify a trade there. That's not really the way to do things. So I'm not going to do anything here. Oops. GP New Zealand, GP USD. Nothing much going on here either, guys. It's just in between support resistance areas. New Zealand CAD is down on the support area, but it kind of gapped below it, and now it doesn't really know what to do. So New Zealand CHF gapped below. It could be stuck below this area now. It could be going back up to where it started. USD CAD is just moving kind of sideways on this support resistance area. USD JPY is in between support resistance. USD SGD is doing nothing, just kind of stalled out on top of this resistance area. I think some people were considering short here or were short here last week. Obviously, it's not really doing much at all. US oil, nothing. Gold is somewhat interesting. We'll come back to that in a second. We'll check out silver. Silver also somewhat interesting. And my platinum trade's kind of backtracked a bit, but this is a long term, so I don't really care about that. Gold is pushing back up to this resistance area, so there is some potential for a short here. But it would be a very risky short because it's bounced from here twice now from this minor support area to the point where it's starting to become not a minor support area. Yeah, I'm not going to short there, nor am I going to short here. Look, guys, we don't have much today. Like I said, when the markets, when gaps like this happen, it leads to kind of a recovery period where the markets have to recover. Things have to go back to what they were before. Or you just need to get some kind of stabilization. And usually that happens somewhat quickly. But with the bank holidays in the UK yesterday and Japan, those are two very, very important countries in forex. I think it's just going to take a little while longer. So I think things are just going to need to stabilize before we find any good setups. And also Tuesday, we don't really find a whole lot on Tuesday, generally speaking. But I think this week is possibly going to be a week where the setups happen towards the end of the week. So Thursday, I'd be expecting more setups than I would on Wednesday, which is normally the day where you get more setups. So yeah, we'll just have to kind of be patient and wait for things to recover. Unless you want to trade gaps and try to get in for those gap fills, but that's never really been my style of trading. Are there any questions, guys? All right, well, it doesn't look like there's any questions, so let's wrap this one up, guys. I'll see members for tomorrow's members only analysis. Everyone else, I'll see you guys on Thursday for Thursday's analysis. I think Thursday is probably going to be the more important analysis this week. Simply because, like I said, it's going to take a while for things to go back to normal, and then we're probably going to see the setups forming on Thursday. Tomorrow we'll be discussing some lower time frame setups. I imagine there's going to be more happening on the lower time frames. I'm going to have a quick scan through the lower time frames, see if there's anything good happening, and I'll post any of those setups on the forum, guys. So thank you for attending, and I'll see you members for tomorrow's analysis.